My girlfriend and I started heading towards the town gym at around 9 p.m. Not the Pokemon gym, the actual gym. We have a routine walk of going through town to the gym every night, about a 1.5-mile walk. So on the way, we decided to play Pokemon Go, of course. My brother's friend was supposed to meet us in town, but we waited for him for about 15 minutes and decided to go on without him. This was a mistake. We were walking on the right side of the road on the sidewalk, and I turned around and noticed a man in a blue shirt, a bald head, and a leather jacket. It was a bit confusing considering it was the middle of July and still about 80 degrees even at night. I decided to stop and let him pass nonchalantly as if we were catching Pokemon. As he passed, I made sure to get a good look at his face. He was about 5'6", a bald head, and he was very sweaty on his forehead, as if he were nervous. After he passed, we followed him, to make sure he didn't have an advantage over us in case he wanted to assault or capture us somehow. Right as he noticed that we were behind him, he quickly looked into a shop window so we would pass him. I decided to put the theory to the test to see if he started following us after we passed. Sure enough, he did. As soon as we passed him, he started following us very closely. I quickly pulled my girlfriend over to the other side of the street. In my town, Team Mystic is out at night in big groups. We rushed to a nearby group in the front of the courthouse and attempted to make ourselves look busy. After waiting for about 5 minutes, we looked down the road to see if he was still on our tail. He stood about half a block down the street and was waiting. In disbelief, we waited longer, only to see him step out onto the street and lean around the crowd to look right at us. I decided to take my girlfriend and I further down the road closer to the gym. For a while, we felt like we were home free. We got to the gym and worked out for what I think was less than a half an hour, considering how mentally exhausted we were after trying to get away from this dude. We decided to go to the shop right next door to the gym to get some snacks. As we did this, I called my mom, telling her all the details. I don't have a car, so she offered to pick us up. After buying snacks, my girlfriend and I stepped out to wait for my mom. Right as we left the outside of the store, a guy following us was standing right next to her with his shirt off. He was covered in prison tattoos, which is possibly why he was wearing the jacket in the middle of summer. He was there with 3 other people, so he didn't see us. We quickly sprinted to my mom's car once she arrived and told her all of the details. Thankfully, we got out of it alive. Okay, so I've never posted on this thread, so I'm gonna try to jump right into this. 3 things. This story does not surround Pokemon Go. The only reason I put it into the title is because it was a Pokemon Go that made this situation possible. 2. This post will contain swears as these will be my thoughts as this was happening. This post will not scare your socks off creepy. I simply thought that this was pretty creepy. Creepiest thing I've ever happened to me personally. I have nothing against Middle Eastern people, and if this is a little intensive, I'm very sorry to anyone I offend. Sorry to this story. It's so long, by the way. Okay, now into the story. For some background knowledge, I am a 13-year-old transgender female, born female, and I live in a sleepy town in Illinois, which is why this was creepy to me. So this happened a little under an hour ago. I've been up for the entire night, 10 p.m. until like 7, I guess, is when the night is over, but whatever your choice on what night is over, I was still up. So it was about 6 a.m. I decided that I wanted to play Go, and so I left my house at about 6:30 a.m. and was out until 7:30 approximately. Only a minute into my walk, I came to the end of my street. I went left. For a bit of knowledge, left on my street leads through about 5 to 6 churches that are Pokestops and gyms, which is why I choose to go that way. Either way, the first of those churches is a Middle Eastern church. So I was walking on the sidewalk on the opposite side of the street from the churches. As I was walking, I glanced up to see a red minivan slowing down as it neared this church, and it looked like a minivan that a girl who lived on my street owned. I thought it might have been her, and she was playing Go as well, so I decided to cross the street there and see if I could talk to her if she was actually playing the game. This was my first mistake. Soon as I got across the street, this minivan turned on the hazard lights, and this confused me, but I kept walking just a bit slower. And this car turned into the parking lot of the church. I kept an eye on the driver's side window, and I saw an older male Middle Eastern guy. As a normal, rational person, I figured this man was coming to practice his religion. I had no clue. So I kept walking, still cautious. At this point, I paused to play the game. I quickly gathered Pokestop stuff and kept watching as this man turned the car around and left without getting out or anything. At this point, I was like, okay, what the fuck is this guy doing? And then he pulled out of the parking lot and went down a street. Now this wouldn't be creepy if there was something on that street. There were just a few houses, but that's it. So I was still cautious as he came down the street from the other way. I kept walking for a little bit until I saw that his car was sitting turned on, still only a few feet in front of the sidewalk. Close enough to the sidewalk that if I had kept walking, someone could have gotten out and grabbed me and drove away without a problem. And this is what made me worry the most. As soon as I saw this, my brain went into, nope, fuck that shit. We're not going over there. So I turned and looked at my phone again, walking away from the car about 30-ish feet away. I then walked across the street. As I was looking in the way of this man's car, I was watching and I couldn't see him at all, but the car was there, and so I kept walking pretty quickly. I occasionally glanced back at the car. Over the next few minutes of my walk, I watched the car drive away down the street again. I'm not sure if this was a trap and if they gave up or someone fell into it, or maybe it wasn't. But shady Middle Eastern guy, let's never meet. Hey guys, Lady Horror here. Thank you so much for watching my video. All is appreciated. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. They always help. Hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye.